Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, capital markets analyst and host of your Cannabis Business podcast. Today, we're going to take a look at a report from Headset about understanding cannabis demographics. So starting with category wallet share by generation, looks like vape pen wallet share for Gen Z is 27%. It's a full 7 points more than even the notoriously tech-friendly, early adopting millennials. Flower, the most low-tech form of cannabis consumption, perhaps the most iconic as well as popular with baby boomers. They are, after all, the generation that made it iconic. Here again, however, breaking out of the different generations tells a more interesting story, as the preference for flower doesn't extend neatly into the silent generation. At 43.8%, they smoke nearly as much as Gen Z. Instead, they prefer edibles, presumably because they don't require you to inhale anything to feel their effects. Indeed, tinctures and sublinguals, topicals, and capsules, they're all very wellness-oriented, non-inhalable products, and far away more popular with the silent generation, clocking in at 8.7, 4.6, and 2.4% wallet shares respectively. That's more than double the wallet share for the next generation. So looking at category wallet share by gender, you can see that concentrates and flower are overrepresented in male wallets. Anyone who's familiar with dabbing and the culture surrounding it is not surprised. Despite dabs being enjoyed by people of all genders, the practice of taking a large dose all at once is inherently about being tough and having a high tolerance, both traits being closely associated with traditional masculinity. While it would be easy to explain away the imbalance in flower purchases by saying that inhaling combustible material is riskier and therefore more classically masculine behavior, we see that women actually buy more pre-rolls than men. So edibles, tinctures, sublinguals, topicals, on the other hand, are much more popular amongst women, suggesting that they may have some gender bias aversion to inhalation or at least combustion. Women and men, pretty even in their preferences for vape pens. And breaking that down to male Gen Z versus female silent generation, there's definitely some dramatic differences. The silent generation women are at least inclined to inhale cannabis of any cohort, while Gen Z men love concentrates. And even though Gen Z men shy away from flower at only 42% wallet share, it's still way more than 35% wallet share for the silent generation women. The reverse is true for all non-inhalable wellness adjacent categories we mentioned earlier. The silent generation women have 10% wallet share for tinctures and sublinguals, and a 3% share for capsules, 5.6% share for topicals. Those categories are so small that you can't even see them on the wallet share chart for Gen Z men. What might be more interesting with two consumer groups so distinct is where they agree. That would be pre-rolls at 7.7% market share for silent generation women and 9% wallet share for Gen Z men. So this mimics the other demographic breakdowns where pre-rolls seem to be enduringly popular no matter who you're asking. They may not have a huge share of topical sales, but they do have some universal appeal. So let's take a look at some of those inhalable products with concentrates, flower, pre-rolls, and vape pens. The cohorts here are a bit more nebulous than other age or gender-based groups, as people who bought inhalable products within the last 6 months can overlap significantly with one another. Flower is the most popular category across all cohorts, with the notable exception of vape pen buyers. Good news for vape pen manufacturers is that their consumers are extremely loyal. Vape pen customers spend more on vape pen products than any other single category at 42% wallet share, which isn't necessarily true of concentrates or pre-roll purchasers. Pre-roll purchasers are actually the most friendly towards other categories, with far and away the lowest wallet share for their own category of any group, suggesting that they're most often buying pre-rolls along with other things. So taking a look at the concentrate consumer wallets compared to the overall market, so concentrate spending is 3 times the share of the overall market. While older consumers are generally not drawn to concentrates, we're still able to compare baby boomers and silent generation consumers who do purchase concentrates with their younger peers. What we see is that it's in line with the top level observation. Even the older consumers don't have a serious affinity for concentrates. Gen Z concentrate consumers purchase concentrates at double the rate of silent generation, suggesting that the silent generation buyers aren't diehard dabbers. Edibles affinity increases with age, even among concentrate consumers, and notably silent generations consumers who buy concentrates also buy pre-rolls at a slightly higher rate than other generations, suggesting that they're not averse to inhalable products as the rest of their generation. And flower actually has the highest percentage of combustible purchases at almost 50% of any generation, definitely confirming the notion that younger generations are more amenable to vaping, be it concentrates or vape pens. Younger generations are moving more towards live resin and wax. Millennials seem to like live resin a bit more than their Gen Z counterparts, who prefer wax, which is usually the lowest average item price of all tracked concentrate segments. So here are some of the takeaways. Consumer wallet for the 5 generations yields some interesting information, like Zoomers are the best consumer for vape pens. The silent generation vastly prefers edibles, and baby boomers are still buying flower. The differences are less pronounced between genders, aggregated across generations, but still, men prefer concentrates and flower slightly, while women show up for wellness products like tinctures and sublinguals, topicals, and capsules. The difference between generations and genders are mostly pronounced between Gen Z men and silent generation women. Gen Z men barely purchase any wellness adjacent products at all, while silent generation are uninterested in concentrate and vape pens. They both buy pre-rolls at roughly the same rate though. So there's a divide between vape pen buyers and other buyers of inhalable products. Vape pen buyers want vape pens, and pre-roll buyers, however, want a bit of everything. All right, comparing customer wallet shares for concentrate buyers to the market share in general shows a strong preference towards concentrates. So this cohort is nearly 3 times more likely to buy a concentrate product than the average consumer. Among concentrate consumers, the older generation prefers segments associated with older methods of cannabis extract like hash and RSO, while younger generations are more favorable towards live resin and wax. What's your preference? Let me know in the comments. With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.